There is a fundamental law of power that governs every interaction you will ever have. It is a law so absolute that ignoring it guarantees you will live your life as a servant, while mastering it elevates you to a sovereign. That law is the law of dependency. It states simply, the one who needs the other person less holds all the power. In the modern world, there are two distinct categories of men. The first category is the vast majority, the courtier. This man is addicted to the external. He checks his phone for notifications like a lab rat pressing a lever for a dopamine pellet. He scans the faces of his boss, his partner, and his friends, desperate for a micro-expression that signals approval. His mood, his self-worth, and his very identity are leased properties. They belong to the crowd. He is a slave who believes he is free because his chains are made of likes, compliments, and social acceptance. Then, there is the second type, the strategic loner. He does not post to be seen. He does not speak to be heard. He does not perform to be applauded. He has discovered a truth that the rest of society is terrified to admit. The moment you stop needing others, you become impossible to control. In a civilization built entirely on the manipulation of male insecurity, the man who cannot be manipulated is not just an outsider, he is a threat. He is a glitch in the matrix of social control. Niccolò Machiavelli, the father of dark strategy, warned princes that relying on mercenaries or foreign armies was the fastest way to ruin. He argued that true power comes only from one's own arms, your own resources, your own mind, your own strength. If you depend on the goodwill of others, you are building your castle on quicksand. Today, we are going to dissect the psychology of the man who needs nothing, why the system is designed to destroy him, and how you can use the weapon of absolute independence to flip the power dynamic in every area of your life. To understand why this man is considered dangerous, you must first understand the invisible contract that society forces every male to sign at birth. From the moment you enter the education system, you are taught a false equation. Your value equals your utility plus your status. You are conditioned to believe that you only exist if you are being observed, graded, and ranked. The school system does not teach you to think. It teaches you to seek validation from authority figures. The corporate world does not teach you to build wealth. It teaches you to climb a hierarchy where your worth is determined by how much better you are than the man sitting in the cubicle next to you. And modern relationships? They have become a marketplace of performance, where men are taught that they must constantly audition for love, proving their worth through resources, compliance, and emotional servitude. Most men never question this reality. They spend their entire lives building an identity on the foundation of external validation. They need their parents to be proud. They need their peers to envy them. They need women to desire them. They need the world to look at them. But every single one of those needs is a point of vulnerability. In military strategy, a supply line is a target. If an enemy can cut your supply line, you starve. If your supply line for self-esteem comes from other people, you are perpetually under siege. Anyone who can withhold attention, affection, or approval creates a siege on your mind. You are easily conquered because you are easily starved. The man who needs nothing has no supply lines to cut. He generates his own resources. He validates his own existence. When you try to starve him of attention, he does not notice. When you try to threaten him with social ostracization, he welcomes the silence. This makes him terrifying to those who rely on manipulation to get what they want. Consider the economic implications. The global economy is a beast that feeds on insecurity. Marketing departments employ armies of psychologists to find the cracks in your armor. They sell you cars to signal status you don't have. They sell you watches to impress people you don't like. They sell you lifestyles designed to make you look successful to an audience that doesn't care. The ideal consumer is a man who feels incomplete, A man who is genuinely self-sufficient is a nightmare for this system. He is a bad consumer. He doesn't buy the lie that a product can complete his soul. He doesn't need to signal his worth because he knows his worth. If a significant percentage of men woke up tomorrow and decided they no longer needed to impress anyone, entire industries would collapse. The luxury market, the dating app industry, the lifestyle coaching sector, all of it is built on the premise that you are not enough as you are. The independent man exposes this lie by his very existence. But the threat goes deeper than economics. It strikes at the heart of the social hierarchy. Human beings are tribal animals, and tribes rely on cohesion. Cohesion is maintained through a blend of reward and punishment. The reward is belonging. The punishment is exile. For thousands of years, exile meant death. So, we evolved a deep biological fear of being alone. The strategic loner hacks this biological programming. He looks at the tribe with its petty dramas, its gossip, its groupthink, and its collective mediocrity, and he voluntarily chooses exile. He walks away from the pyramid. The social pyramid needs everyone to believe that climbing it is the ultimate purpose of life. You have the alphas at the top, often just the most insecure men with the most power, the climbers in the middle, and the defeated at the bottom. But the man who steps outside the pyramid entirely creates a crisis of faith for everyone else. He is not competing, he is not playing the game, and by refusing to play, he reveals that the game is optional. This is the Diogenes effect. When Alexander the Great, the most powerful man in the world, asked the philosopher Diogenes if he wanted anything, Diogenes, who lived in a barrel and owned nothing, replied, "Yes, stand a little out of my sun." Alexander had armies, gold, and empires. Diogenes had nothing. Yet, in that moment, Diogenes held the power. Why? Because Alexander needed Diogenes to be impressed by him, but Diogenes did not need Alexander for anything. The man who needs nothing is the only one who can speak truth to power without fear. Now, let's strip away the romance and look at the dark psychology of how this man is created. This level of independence is rarely a natural talent. It is forged in fire. It is usually the result of a painful, often traumatic, awakening. In psychology, we discuss attachment theory. Most people are anxious. They cling. Others are secure. But the Machiavellian loner often emerges from what is called dismissive avoidant behavior, but he reframes it. He transforms a defense mechanism into a weapon of war. Perhaps he learned early on that relying on others leads to betrayal. Maybe he had a father who was weak or tyrannical, or a mother who was inconsistent and manipulative. He learned that the only person coming to save him was himself. He realized that vulnerability was not a strength, as modern society loves to preach, but a gap in the armor where the knife enters. So, he built a citadel. This is not about hiding in a basement. It is about constructing a psychological fortress. He developed skills that made him useful to himself. He cultivated a mind that could endure silence. He learned that if he didn't need anyone for his emotional survival, no one could ever blackmail him emotionally again. This transformation grants him 3 specific weapons that are devastatingly effective in the modern world. The first weapon is the power of scarcity. The first law of economics is supply and demand. What is abundant is cheap. What is scarce is valuable. The nice guy is abundant. He is always there, always available, always replying instantly, always agreeing. Therefore, his value is 0. He is social inflation. The strategic loner practices the art of scarcity. Because he is comfortable being alone, he is not always available. He does not reply immediately unless it serves a purpose. His presence is a reward, not a given. When he speaks, people listen, not because he is loud, but because he rarely speaks. In a world of noise, silence is the ultimate luxury. By withdrawing his attention, He forces others to chase him. People obsess over what they cannot easily have. The man who needs nothing becomes the prize simply by virtue of his inaccessibility. The second weapon is immunity to manipulation. We live in the golden age of narcissism. Manipulators, gaslighters, and emotional vampires are everywhere. They operate by finding your hooks, your needs. If you need validation, they will love bomb you and then withdraw to control you. If you need to be right, they will provoke you into arguments. If you fear abandonment, they will constantly threaten to leave. But you cannot hook a surface that has no cracks. The man who is self-sufficient has no hooks. A narcissist tries to love bomb him, and he observes it with cold detachment. Why is this person trying so hard? He asks. He sees the tactic. A boss threatens to fire him. He has savings, skills, and a backup plan. The threat creates no fear. A partner threatens to leave. He opens the door for them. When you are willing to walk away from any deal, any person, or any situation, you possess the F times CKU leverage. In any negotiation, the person who is most willing to walk away wins. Always. The loner lives in a perpetual state of willingness to walk away. This makes him unbreakable. The third weapon is the aura of unpredictability. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must never let his enemies know his mind fully. Most men are laughably predictable. You push a button, they react. You insult them, they get angry. You compliment them, they smile. They are non-player characters, NPCs, in their own lives, running on simple code. The man who needs nothing breaks this code. You insult him, and he doesn't react because your opinion is irrelevant to his self-image. You flatter him, and he remains stoic because he doesn't need your validation. This lack of reaction terrifies people. It makes them wonder, what does he know that I don't? What is he thinking? He becomes a blank canvas onto which people project their own fears and fantasies. By doing nothing, by needing nothing, he occupies real estate in their minds. They try to figure him out, and in doing so, they fall under his influence. However, we must be brutally honest about the cost of this power. The path of the Machiavellian loner is not for the weak, and it is certainly not for the sentimental. It requires a purge. As you adopt this mindset, you will lose friends. This is inevitable. Most modern friendships are not based on loyalty or shared vision. They are based on shared weakness. We hang out to complain, to drink, to distract ourselves from the void. These are commiseration alliances. When you stop needing validation, you stop participating in these rituals of weakness. You stop laughing at jokes that aren't funny. You stop agreeing with opinions that are stupid just to keep the peace. You stop gossiping. The people around you will sense this shift. They will accuse you of changing. They will say, you have become cold, arrogant, or distant. Let them. Understand that these accusations are actually confessions. When they say, you've changed, what they mean is, you are no longer playing the role I assigned to you in my script. When they say, you are distant, they mean, I can no longer reach you to manipulate you. This is the crab bucket mentality. When one crab tries to climb out of the bucket, the others pull it back down. Not to save it, but because its escape highlights their own captivity. You must be willing to kick the other crabs away. You must be willing to be the villain in their story, so you can be the hero in yours. Your family may not understand. Your parents, conditioned by the system, may view your independence as a rejection of their love. Your partner, if they are insecure, may feel threatened by the fact that you choose them rather than need them. The modern dating advice tells you to play games. There is nothing weaker than a needy man. A man who needs a woman to be his mommy, his therapist, or his cheerleader dries up attraction instantly. Conversely, A man who is whole, who has his own mission, his own code, and his own internal fortress, is magnetic. He offers a woman the only thing she truly wants, a rock in the middle of the chaotic ocean of emotions. But he must remain willing to lose her. The paradox of love is that you can only keep what you are truly afraid to lose. The loner loves from a place of choice, not a place of starvation. I want you here is infinitely more powerful than I need you here. Now, how do you apply this? How do you transition from the needy courtier to the dangerous sovereign? Step 1. The fast of silence. For the next 7 days, remove all performative communication. Do not post on social media. Do not send check-in texts. Do not fill the silence in conversations. If there is a pause, let it hang. Look people in the eye and be comfortable with the void. Observe who panics. Observe who tries to fill the silence with nonsense. You will see the power dynamics shift immediately. You will see who is dancing for your approval. Step 2. Elimination of external debt. I don't just mean money, though that helps. I mean emotional debt. Stop asking for favors. Stop asking for opinions on your decisions. If you are going to do something, do it. Do not ask your friends, "Do you think this is a good idea?" That is asking for permission. Sovereigns do not ask for permission. They ask for forgiveness, and rarely even that. Own your mistakes. If you fail, fail alone. If you succeed, succeed alone. This builds the callus of self-trust. Step 3. The shadow work. You must face the reason why you hated being alone in the past. Was it boredom? Boredom is just the lack of internal purpose. Was it fear? Fear of what? Fear that if you stop making noise, you cease to exist. You must learn to sit in a room, alone, with no phone, no music, no distraction, and stare at the wall until you stop panicking. You must conquer your own mind. As the ancient Stoic Seneca said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." The man who cannot be at home in his own head is a homeless wanderer, no matter how many mansions he owns. When you master this, you become a ghost in the machine. You become unreadable. In the workplace, you are the employee who delivers results but doesn't get involved in office politics. This makes you mysterious and promotes you faster than the brown-noser. In social circles, you are the man who speaks only when necessary, making your words carry the weight of gold. In life, you are the man who creates his own path, independent of trends, hashtags, or current things. Society will try to label you. They will call you antisocial. They will call you a loner. They will try to pathologize your strength because it highlights their weakness. Wear those titles like armor. The loner is only a negative term to the sheep who fear getting lost without the herd. To the wolf, the loner is simply a dangerous adult. Remember, the goal of Machiavellian strategy is not just to survive, but to thrive by understanding reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. The reality is that no one is coming to save you. No one cares about your life as much as you do, and the more you outsource your happiness, the more you bankrupt your soul. Total independence is the ultimate high ground. From there, you can see the battlefield clearly. From there, you can choose when to engage and when to withdraw. From there, you are untouchable. So, make the choice. Do you want to be liked, or do you want to be respected? Do you want to be safe in the crowd, or powerful in the shadows? The crowd is loud, but the crowd is lost. The man who walks alone finds the path that others are too afraid to see. Embrace the solitude. Sharpen your mind. Become the threat that society fears. The man who is completely, utterly, and terrifyingly free. If you are ready to cut the strings of the puppet master, if you are ready to walk the path of the strategic loner, then silence is your first step. But since we are here, leave a comment below. Tell me, what was the moment you realized that your independence was your greatest weapon? And then, go dark, build your empire, and let them wonder where you went.